Neymar Jr., a name that carries talent, fame, controversy, and above all, from a very young age he was seen as the heir to Pele's number 10 shirt, the new face of Brazilian football. And when he arrived at his first World Cup in 2014 on home soil, an entire country believed this would be the beginning of a golden era. The 2014 World Cup began in celebration. Brazil, hosting the biggest football event on earth. Neymar, only 22 years old, was already the main character. He scored twice against Croatia in the opening match, assisted goals, took responsibility. He was the star of the group stage, the name on every commentator's lips, the player every defender feared. When Brazil faced Chile in the round of 16, Neymar played through pain. He was hurt but stayed on. He took the final penalty, scored, and cried. That image of him kneeling on the pitch, hands over his face, remains one of the most emotional moments of that World Cup. He wasn't just a player. He was a kid trying to carry the dreams of 200 million people on his back.
It is Neymar, is this his moment? Neymar equalises for Brazil! His shot. He is the man, but only just.
This is Neymar. It's a stumbling run, but nothing stumbling about the finish. Brazil are through. Yala, oh, he's hit the post!
In the quarter-finals against Colombia, tragedy struck. Neymar, already exhausted, was targeted by fouls. In one violent play, he was kneed in the lower back by Zuniga, a fractured vertebra, taken off on a stretcher, in tears. And at that moment, Brazil lost more than its star player. It lost its soul. The semi-final against Germany was a disaster, 7-1, the worst defeat in Brazil's history, and Neymar watched it from home. On crutches, in silence. Many say that if he had played, things would have been different. Others believe the problem was much bigger than one man. But one thing is certain, Neymar was the biggest victim of that tournament. He had done his part, he played well, he carried the team, and more than ever it became clear Brazil depended entirely on him.
Volta no Neymar, o juiz deu vantagem. É porque sentiu. Ele tomou uma pancada ali.
Plenty of height on it, it's gone through to the second for Germany. Brazil in rips. Germany looking good for the final on Sunday, they might get another one here. This is quite astonishing. Kira, Özil, they're queuing up. Back into Lam. Square, 6. But they might have number 7 here now. Keeper. Maybe he can force one in. Oscar, he's got.
4 years went by, and the 2018 World Cup in Russia arrived. Neymar came back different, older, wiser, but more pressured than ever. He had suffered a foot injury just months before the tournament and barely recovered in time. In the opening match against Switzerland, he struggled, took several fouls, fell often, complained. And that's when the nickname that would follow him for the rest of that cup began. The Diver.
What a way to start for Brazil! What a hit from miles out! Coutinho! Who level? Turned in, and his celebration led by the goal scorer.
Against Costa Rica, he scored in stoppage time. Cried again. This time, a different kind of cry. Frustration. Exhaustion. But by then, the world seemed more interested in his falls than his goals. Memes spread, jokes went viral, the genius became a punchline, and that overshadowed his real performance. Against Mexico in the round of 16, he shined. He scored, assisted, dominated. But in the quarterfinals against Belgium, he hit a wall. He tried, he created, but was denied by Courtois. Brazil lost 2-1, and Neymar again left the field as the face of a disappointment. This time, he was on the pitch, but without the brilliance expected.
It's there for Jesus. They've got it. They've got it. It didn't matter. The second goal here. There is a big chance. It's 2. It's 2. Brazil are on their way now. Keel to Willian into the area. Willian. Brazil score. But Neymar. Got to be 2. Brazil are on their way.
Flicked onto the near post and they have the lead. Vincent, De Bruyne, 2-0. Belgium. What is? Fade in and now they do get a goal.
Then came his third and perhaps final World Cup, Qatar 2022. The stage was different. Brazil arrived with a strong, talented squad. Neymar, now 30, was no longer the young prodigy. He was the leader, the mentor of a new generation. And he started well. Against Serbia, he showed creativity, command, fluidity. But once again, injury, a brutal ankle sprain. He missed the rest of the group stage. The country held its breath. Without him, Brazil was inconsistent. To Cameroon, but in the round of 16, Neymar returned, and returned in style. Against South Korea, he was calm, elegant, dominant. He orchestrated the play, restored rhythm. He looked happy again. And in the quarterfinals against Croatia, he might have scored the most beautiful goal of his career for the national team. A perfect give and go, a surgical dribble, and a delicate finish over the keeper. It was art, but the nightmare returned. Croatia equalized. Penalties. And Neymar didn't even get to take his. He was fifth on the list, and his turn never came. Brazil was out. Again. And Neymar once more walked off the field with tears in his eyes. The question echoed again. Was he to blame?
Vinicius Junior, fine save, bundled in. Richarlison, Brazil! Forcing Lazovic back and finding Richarlison! Now that...
That answer requires fairness. Across all 3 World Cups, Neymar played. He fought, he got injured, he cried, he stood back up. But he was always far too alone. He never had another world-class name at his side. The burden, the pressure, the focus, all of it on him. Did he make mistakes? Yes. In 2018, he exaggerated the theatrics. In 2022, maybe he should have taken the first penalty. But to say he was the problem ignores everything he did. The goals, the assists, the brilliance. In 2022 especially, he showed leadership maturity and calm. He gave everything. What he lacked maybe was luck, or better support. Or maybe fate was just too cruel to one of the greatest talents the world has ever seen. If Qatar was his final World Cup, then yes, he leaves without a title. But he also leaves with over 70 international goals, with unforgettable moments, with the legacy of someone who gave his soul to jersey. History doesn't always reward you with trophies. Sometimes greatness lies in what you meant to people, in how you inspired, in how hard you tried, even when everything was stacked against you. Neymar may not have lifted the trophy, but he was the man who tried, who suffered, who rose again, who created magic when few could. And for that, he deserves to be remembered with respect, with admiration, with understanding, because sometimes you don't need to win to become eternal.